In the ever-evolving landscape of filmmaking, a well-structured budget is the cornerstone of turning your creative vision into a reality. In this guide, we'll navigate through the intricacies of SyncOnSet, helping you streamline the budgeting process and make informed financial decisions. To get started, use the product switcher located in the top left corner to switch from continuity to budgeting. If you're working on a traditional episodic production, keep in mind that budgets are episode specific, so you'll need to use the episode selector to pick the relevant episode first. If you don't have budgeting as an available option, it indicates that you were not given the budget access permission when added to the production. To gain access, get in touch with your department head as they will be able to assist you in granting the necessary access to the budgeting feature. The first time you visit the budget, you'll be asked to confirm the characters you wish to budget for. The characters shown are those that have been added to the feature or episode in continuity. If you have characters that you do not want to budget for, simply uncheck the box in line with their name. You can easily view the number of changes per character under the Number of Changes column. We recommend creating the character changes in continuity before diving into budgeting. However, you can manually add them later. When ready, click Start Budgeting. A warning will appear if there are characters selected without changes. Click Continue to bypass. Once you're in the budget, you'll notice a running total displayed in a blue bar at the top, which updates as you enter amounts. The budget is further detailed beneath the blue bar, showing individual totals for each category, as well as the cast total, which adds the principal and background budget together. Separate tabs are available for both principal and background characters. There's also a miscellaneous tab for budgeting miscellaneous expenses. We'll go more in depth on these later on. To exclude a character from the budget, simply hover over their name and click the X that appears next to it. A confirmation pop-up will then appear. Click Remove to continue with the removal. The character will then appear grayed out, indicating their removal from the budget. You can always add them back later if needed by clicking Add Character and Changes to Budget. Keep in mind that you'll have to re-enter their budget information. In the event that a character is removed from the production entirely and you don't wish to see them grayed out on the budget, make sure to remove the character from continuity. This will ensure that they are no longer an option on the budget. Before we jump into entering budgeting amounts, you'll want to choose the level of detail you prefer to budget by: character, change, item, or a combination of these options. For budgeting by character, enter the amount in the character total box alongside the character name. If you prefer budgeting by each change, enter the amount in the change total box aligned with the specific change. Then, check the box next to some changes below the character total to update the overall budget. I've gone ahead and created the changes in continuity, which is why they now appear under the character. If you see a change that's grayed out, click the Add Character Budget button. That way you can enter the budget amount. To achieve a more detailed budget, opt for budgeting by item. To do this, click Add Item next to the change to create and allocate a budget for the item. You also have the ability to mark the item as buy, rent, made to order, or promo, as well as adding a quantity. When done, be sure to check the box next to some items beneath the change total to update the overall budget accurately. If you'd like to remove an item from the budget, hover your cursor to the left of the item name and click the X that appears. A confirmation pop-up will appear. Click Remove to rid of the item. Please note that items existing in continuity will not transfer to the budget, and items created in the budget will not transfer to continuity. After completing the budgeting process for principal characters, head over to the Background tab to review your background character's budget. Similar to principal characters, you have the option to budget by background character, change, or item. If you prefer to budget background characters as a single line item, you can remove all background entries from the budget and create a custom budget line specifically for background. To do this, click Create New and provide the background name and budget amount. From time to time, you might have expenses in your budget that don't fit into the standard categories. In such instances, you can still include them by budgeting the cost under the Miscellaneous category. To do this, navigate to the Miscellaneous Budget tab on your budget page. Here, you can allocate funds for various miscellaneous expenses. For the costume department, there are preset categories like alterations, cleaning, and supplies listed. If you decide not to use a preset miscellaneous category, avoid overriding its name, as that may cause linking issues with money tracking. Instead, delete the category if you don't intend to use it. To do this, hover your cursor over the name and click the X that appears. You can then add your own custom categories by clicking the Create New button. When dealing with the traditional episodic production, you are required to create miscellaneous categories in each episode separately. However, if you create a category with the exact same name across multiple episodes, the tracking group will automatically link these categories. Once properly linked, any updates made to the name or accounting code of the category in one episode will be reflected consistently across all episodes, where the same category appears in the cost report and payment index. This ensures consistency and streamlined management of expenses throughout the entire production. As you add or modify miscellaneous expenses, the running total in the blue bar within the top box will automatically update, keeping you informed about budget changes. If you are looking to generate budgeting reports, click the Print Reports button located at the top right of the budget page. From the drop-down menu, choose the appropriate report based on how you structured your budget. There are three options for the costume budget report: Summary Report, which provides a breakdown of budget totals by character; Changes Report, which offers a breakdown of budget totals by change; Items Report, which offers a breakdown of budget totals by item. Alternatively, you can also run costume budget reports from the report index in continuity. To do this, use the product switcher to toggle back to continuity. Then, click Reports on the top navigation bar. Scroll down to the Budgeting Reports section. Select the report type from the drop-down menu, and then click Generate Report. Before we wrap up on budgeting, I would like to note that if you are working on a traditional episodic production and want a budget for the entire season instead of by episode, simply create an amort episode. To do this, click the film strip icon to go to the My Productions page. Then, click the blue Add Episode button in line with the production title. Number this episode so it's easily identifiable. We recommend 999 and name it Amort. Be sure to skip the script upload and click Continue. On the Import Characters page, select characters from previous episodes in the left column to add them to the Amort episode, or click Add All to add them all. When finished, click Continue. Select the users you'd like to have access to this episode, or click Add All to add them all. When finished, click Continue. You are then taken to the character index, where you can confirm all characters are now added to episode 999. Click the product switcher and select Budgeting to start your Amort budget. Now that we've learned about the budgeting aspect of SyncOnSet, click Cost Report on the top navigation bar to navigate to the cost report. The cost report follows the same logic as budgeting. For traditional episodics, a separate cost report is generated for each episode, while features and episodics set up like a feature utilize a single cost report that covers the entire production. The cost report provides a comprehensive overview of all payments logged for your production. As you add more payments and money tracking, the payment tracker, the blue bar behind the total, will gradually fill up, giving you a quick visual of the amount spent against the budget. You have three viewing options for your cost report. By default, the cost report opens in the payment type view, but you can easily switch between these views. These different views allow you to analyze your production's expenditures from various perspectives, enhancing your understanding of the financial aspects of the project. The payment type view displays the totals based on the method of payment for each character. In the purchase type view, totals are shown based on buy, rent, and made to order for each character. Lastly, the No Details view only displays the total amount spent for each character without additional breakdowns. Any principal characters, background characters, and miscellaneous expenses added to the budget will appear in the cost report as tracking groups. This top table includes both principal and background characters, while the table below displays miscellaneous items. Initially, the account codes and accounting names on your cost report align with your character numbers and names by default. It's essential to note that if the character's number and/or names have been updated in continuity after the budget has been started, the numbers and/or names on the cost report will not reflect those changes, and vice versa. Only the budget name in the budget will update to reflect what's been modified in continuity. If you wish to modify the account code and/or name, simply click the green Edit button. While in edit mode, you will observe a column labeled Budget Name. If there exists a disparity between the budget name and the account name, it's advisable to modify the account name and account code to align with the budget name. This will ensure that there are no discrepancies or confusion. While in edit mode, you'll notice that there's an additional field in the header labeled Account Code. Use this field if you have a department code you'd like shown as a prefix to the account code. Keep in mind, only numbers are allowed in the account code fields. Inserting any letters or special characters will result in the account code turning red. Be sure to click Done to save your changes. If you have characters that you'd like to group together, for example, all of your background characters, click Edit. Then check the boxes in line with the characters you'd like to group together. Then click the Group button that appears. On this pop-up window, you have the ability to create a new group by adding a line code and group name, or you can select an existing group by using the drop-down menu under Add to Existing Group of Character. When done, click Save. They'll still remain in the budget as individual characters, however, you can now track their costs as a unit. If payments already exist for those characters, they will be reassigned to the group. However, if you remove a character from the group, the payments will not move back to the individual character and will need to be reassigned. To remove a character from the group, click Edit and then click the icon to the right of the account code for the group. Then click the X for the character you'd like to remove and click Submit. Now, let's look at the Miscellaneous Items Money Tracking section. Similar to the rest of your cost report, you can add account codes and group items together from this section by clicking Edit. You'll also notice there's a Create Line Item button. You can use this to create miscellaneous items directly from the cost report, which will in turn add it to the miscellaneous budget. However, it's best practice to do it directly from the miscellaneous budget to avoid linking issues across episodes. If you have a character or miscellaneous item that you'd like removed from the cost report, they'll need to be removed from the budget. To do this, navigate to the budget, locate the character or miscellaneous item, and click the X in line with the name. Once removed from the budget, they should no longer appear on the cost report unless payments have been assigned to the character. If that's the case, you'll need to locate the payments and update the tracking group. Once all payments have been reassigned, they'll no longer appear on the cost report. We'll go over payments next. Now that we've delved into budgeting and explored the cost report, it's time to embark on the journey of adding and tracking payments. To access the Payments page, click Payments on the top navigation bar. The Payments page initially displays all payments. However, there is a different view for each payment type. There's Purchase Orders, P Cards, short for Purchasing Cards, Check Requests, and Petty Cash. Each payment type view has a green Create button. To create a new envelope, simply click the button and a pop-up window will appear. For this demonstration, I'll create a P Card envelope. A payment number is required for each envelope regardless of the payment type. Under the Type drop-down menu, you have the ability to select the purchase type, buy, rent, or made to order. By default, the form includes the first line number, which has various fields. For the date field, you can either manually type the date or use the calendar icon to select the date. If vendors have already been created, you'll see them listed when clicking the vendor dropdown. If vendors have yet to be created, it will appear blank. You can either create the vendor by typing the vendor's name in the field and clicking the Add option just below, or under the vendor page, which we'll go over later. Episodic productions will have an episode number field. That way, if you made purchases for items across episodes, they can all be included in one envelope. If you're working on a traditional episodic and you don't see an episode as an option, be sure that the budget has already been started. To verify, toggle back to continuity, use the episode selector to select the missing episode, then toggle back to budgeting. If the budget hasn't been started, you'll land on this page. The tracking group is dependent on the episode, as it will only display characters and miscellaneous items that have been added to the budget for that episode. So once you've selected an episode, the tracking group field will become clickable. Next, we have the cost field. We currently only support one currency, the US dollar. If you're working out of a different currency, you can just disregard the dollar sign. You also have the option to enter tax and shipping by clicking the icon to the right of the cost field. Entering the tax rate in the rate field will automatically calculate the total tax for you. For example, I'll enter 0.0725. If you'd rather just enter the total tax, you can skip using the rate field and enter it directly in the total tax field. You'll notice that now that tax and/or shipping has been added, the color of the icon changes. This helps you to visually indicate whether taxes and shipping have already been added to the line item. It also updates the total displayed to the right of the icon. If the item purchased is considered an asset, simply check the asset box. This will ensure that the item is shown on the asset index and in asset reports. Once you've entered a description for the line, you can move on to adding a new line, clicking the green Add New Line button. To delete a line from the payment, simply hover your cursor to the right of the description field and click the trash bin icon that appears. When finished, click Save. The system does time out after 2 hours of inactivity. If you stop entering data and do not save your payment before you are logged out, your data will store locally so you can pick up where you left off. You will see this pop up when you return to the page. If you need to make updates to an existing payment, you can click on the payment line from the Payments page. This will place the specific line in an edit mode. On the far right column, there are 3 icons that appear. A green checkmark, which saves the updates made to the line. A yellow icon, which allows you to process a return. Clicking this will bring up a new payment window with a negative amount pre-entered. You'll just need to enter the payment number, line number, date, episode if working on an episodic, and a description. Lastly, we have a red trash bin icon which will delete the payment line for the item. You can also click the payment number shown as a blue hyperlink under the payment number column if you'd like to view the entire payment envelope. If working on an episodic, keep in mind that the payments will sort based on episode number and then line number. You can easily filter payments by any column or apply filters to multiple columns for a more tailored view. As you apply filters, the running total at the top of the page will dynamically adjust to reflect your selected criteria. To do this, click the magnifying glass icon in the table header to the far right to display the search fields. Let's say that I'm looking for payments for a specific episode. I'm going to click into the episode search field and enter the episode number. Watch as the filters update in real time. For further organization, sort payments by column by clicking on the respective column header. To generate a report based on your filtered payments, click on Print at the top of the table. Enter a title for your report, then click Print to compile and print your customized payment report. Once assets have been allocated in the payment index, select Assets from the top navigation bar to access the asset index. The asset index is similar to the payment index. It has a payment tracker, the blue bar, displaying the total cost of assets for the production. You can also edit the asset by simply clicking into the asset. The only difference is that from this view, you have the ability to upload a photo of the asset by clicking the green plus icon under the photo column. Click Choose File to locate and select the photo, then click Upload. To view the photo for an asset, simply click the image. You can also open the photo in a new tab of the browser. To delete an asset photo, place the asset in edit mode and click the red X that appears when you hover over the photo. A confirmation pop-up will appear. Click Delete to move forward with the removal. To organize the assets, click on a column header in the asset table. You can also filter the list by entering search criteria using the magnifying glass icon. You can generate an asset report based on your filtered results by clicking Print. You can also print an asset report by clicking Reports on the top navigation bar. The asset report can be found at the very bottom of the list. Keep in mind this will be a list of all assets. To create, edit, or delete vendors, click Vendors on the top navigation bar. Click the green Create Vendor button to create a new vendor. The only required field is the vendor name. You can choose to fill out the additional fields during the creation or add them at a later time. When done, click Create. To edit an existing vendor, click the pencil icon, then click Update once the necessary changes have been made. To delete a vendor, click the red trash bin icon and then click Delete on the confirmation pop-up window. Various money tracking reports can be generated by clicking Reports on the top navigation bar. The cost report is a copy of the cost report page. Since the cost report and budget are episode specific for traditional episodics, you'll need to select a specific episode and then click Generate. The vendor list is a list of existing vendors with all of their information. The next few reports are specific to the purchase type: purchase orders, P-cards, check requests, and petty cash. The P-card and petty cash reports are also available in a landscape orientation. Select a specific payment number and then click Generate. Lastly, the Assets report is a list of existing assets with their information and photos. It can be sorted by asset number or tracking group. By default, all tracking groups in all episodes are selected. To generate the report for assets that are assigned to a specific tracking group or episode, uncheck the box and then click into the field for tracking groups or episodes. You can select more than one entity. When done, click Generate Report.